begin soon. Hurts is heading into the final year of his deal after leading the Eagles offense to the Super Bowl. At a press conference in Philadelphia on Thursday, General Manager Howie Roseman was asked about the desire to start working on a deal.
We have a good sense of what we need to do here. We have a little bit of time here, too, to kind of figure it out and get away and discuss that. But, you know, at the end of the day, the most important thing is keeping our best players here. And you know, Jalen's certainly one of our best players. So we'll keep all the contract talks internal, but we definitely would like to keep Jalen Hurts here long.
There they are. Herm Edwards back on the West Coast, and Bart Scott in the flesh.
I saw. Listen.
I want this smoke
I gotta say this. I saw Coach Herm Edwards on TV the other day sitting in this chair, and I must say,
yes,
for the first time ever, he looked a bit fatigued. He didn't look like his regular young-looking, spry self.
You're gonna
Something
do this?
was lacking. Yeah. But now that he back in Southern California, look at him. I mean, look about 10, 15 years younger. The smile is there. He looks awake, energized, and a whole bit.
He's Northern California.
That's what
He's
the sun is doing to you.
California.
No. That's a San Diego brother right there.
You know why?
He's not San Diego.
You know why I was
Herm,
feeling
you're
that
not
way?
San Diego.
What?
No, I'm in Central Cal. I'm in Carmel.
Yeah.
I'm in Pebble Beach.
Have you ever been to Carmel?
That's where I'm at.
No.
It's ridiculous.
No, really?
It
Stephen
is
A., you got to come
stunning.
visit me.
So much is ridiculous
You have to come visit me.
Okay, I will.
Carmel is
The reason
absolutely
I felt
gorgeous.
that way, Stephen A., is I was sitting in your chair. I was feeling that pressure that you had every morning sitting in your seat.
Well, you know, it ain't pressure. It ain't pressure, baby. I mean, the seat marinates to me. I'm good. I'm good. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that he looks considerably better today, more energized.
Getting that vitamin D. And remember, he was still grieving, too, for his Philadelphia Eagles taking that L.
That's fair. Let's go.
Don't go there. Stop all that. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Time to take off.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to fly.
Okay, well, let's talk about it, because you got to keep all your pieces then, Coach. And, Bart, I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
When we're looking at Jalen Hurts, how much would you say he's worth when I talk about him being in the last year of his deal?
I mean, he's 24 years old, so you would think that he hasn't even reached his ceiling yet. He's extremely important, but they have to figure this out, and they have to get this done now because the market for quarterback salaries are continuing to go through the roof. We know that Joe Burrow is going to get his money. We know that probably Patrick Mahomes is going to do an extension because he's not going to be the 7th highest paid coming off of a Super Bowl and an MVP. We know that, you look at we know that the reports of Justin Herbert is about to get his money, reportedly about annually $49 million a year. So if Philadelphia continues to wait, the price is only going to go up. I think they have to figure something out as far as these structures of these contracts for quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes may have kind of been a trailblazer with the 10-year deal, allowing his teams to have flexibility to be able to push that credit card bill down the line. When you look at this Philadelphia Eagles team, you're wondering how can they sustain this when you think about they have 20 free agents. They have to convince Kelsey to come back. They may lose Bradbury. They have a lot of significant players that are coming up for free agency. They have to sign the quarterback so that they can go address the contracts of everybody else. I think Javon Hargrave is a big one. They may have to graduate some people out of the program. Maybe the last time we see Brandon Graham. Fletcher Cox, when you think about they went out and got Jordan Davis, and Hargrave is their best interior pass rusher who's going to break the bank and reset the market right there with Quinnen Williams.
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, Bart, you make some good observation here. I would say this. You give this guy a Mahomes deal. You give him a 10-year contract. That way it's spread out. You can sign some of these free agents. Remember, they have 2 first-round picks. They have a 10th pick and a 32nd pick. They've done a great job of acquiring players in free agency. But I think this is the guy you want to be the face of your franchise for the next 10 years. He's an ascending quarterback, by the way, guys. I've always looked at quarterbacks this way. Are you 34 to more touchdowns in a season? He had 35. Now, I know it wasn't all passing. There was some running, 13 running, but that's the number in my opinion. It's 34 and above touchdowns from the quarterback position. That's what the real great ones do, and he was able to do that this year. The way he threw the ball, he improved dramatically. They built an offense, gave him some weapons. This is your guy. He does everything you want a quarterback to do, not only on the field, but off the field. Give him a 10-year deal, and you can sign the rest of those pieces. You can go into free agency and get some pieces, and then the Philadelphia Eagles will have a long run of trying to get back to that Super Bowl.
Here's the deal, y'all. Deshaun Watson got a $230 million guaranteed deal.
Yeah.
One could easily argue right now Jalen Hurts is worth more than him. Lamar Jackson is seeking a deal in excess of that $230 million in guaranteed dollars. One could argue Jalen Hurts is worth more than him. I can go the Kyler Murray route, the Russell Wilson route, the Aaron Rodgers route. That man was in the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles got there because of him. We know this because they were 14-1 with him behind center and 0-2 in the 2 games he missed. Not only did that happen, and he performed in the Super Bowl. Why do I bring that up, Bart, before your face cringed? Because you being a football aficionado that you are, you missed it. I ain't talking about just football. I'm talking about leadership.
Yeah.
I wish Deshaun Watson nothing but the best. We can't say that about him now after all the stuff that happened. I wish Lamar Jackson all the best. Right now, there's been a divide between him and the Baltimore Ravens organization to the point where we don't know what he's asking for. We don't know what his representation looks like. We don't know what kind of real negotiations have been going on. And on top of it all, he hasn't been available for the last 5 weeks of the regular season, the last 2 years.
Yep.
All right, and that includes the playoffs. So you certainly can't. Again, if we're talking just talent, there's a few people that you could throw in the mix, although Jalen Hurts has emerged and elevated to a point where he's where he needs to be now, right in the mix. But when it comes to leadership, outside of Patrick Mahomes, who can we call a better leader at the quarterback position than Jalen Hurts right now? There's no one.
That's a fair point.
There's no one. There's absolutely no one. So if coach, because you are a coach and you have coached on the National Football League level, we don't ask a quarterback just to throw the football. We don't ask them just to know the playbook. We don't even ask them to know what other people's jobs are. We ask them to galvanize, to assemble the troops, to lead and propel. That's what we ask. And we say it's not just about your skill set. When they get paid.
They got a situation going on in Philly with their main man, Jalen Hurts, fresh off that 4-touchdown performance in the Super Bowl. The Eagles quarterback is extension eligible this offseason, got 1 year remaining on his rookie deal. Our Herm Edwards thinks the Eagles should lock up Hurts for a long time.
10-year contract.
Right now.
10 years. I got my franchise quarterback. I got a shot. Look at the franchises, head coach and quarterback that have been connected for a decade. Look at what they've done. He gets it. This is the face of your franchise. He is the guy.
See, that's going to have a huge price tag if they do that. I got to say, as an Eagles fan, I'm down with that. Just because of the way he approaches the game, his character, and his improvement. But, Jeff, how might this situation with the Eagles' former quarterback impact negotiations with Mr. Hurts?
Look, I know this is a painful conversation to have, but when you look at the precedent of signing quarterbacks potentially at this point, after the 3rd-year mark, you are still talking about Carson Wentz. And that is exactly the precedent that the Eagles set. When they signed Carson Wentz, they gave him the most guaranteed money to date in NFL history at that point. My wonder is, does Howie Roseman take that into account? Is he still thinking about the lessons that he learned from doing that? Of course, there are plenty of examples of times when you signed him early and it worked out because ultimately you get him at a better value. It is the hardest job of a GM. Finding the time to sign the quarterback, doing it early enough to get the best value and not too late to where you lose the guy potentially to free agency. A tough tightrope to walk. Howie Roseman, one of the best in the business, will find a way to do it. I just wonder if that situation with Carson Wentz comes into effect with this situation with Hurts.
Wow. So, Mike, keeping that in the back of your mind, that situation right there, if you're in Howie's seat, do you pay him a 10-year deal at, man, it's going to be more than $500 million at least, I think.
Yes, 10 years, $50 million a year. Get it done ASAP because, as these guys said, the market is only going to go up. You're betting on his character. You're betting on his continual improvement, his age. He's checked every box. The way he played this year is really remarkable. So I understand the Carson Wentz scar tissue, but I would get this deal done ASAP. And Ryan, this is really important now. The inverse of this situation is fascinating. All Jalen Hurts has to say is, you know what? I'm not showing up. And it would really put Philadelphia in a box. I don't expect him to do that. There's nothing in his background to suggest that he would, but he really has immense leverage here. Remember, he is a second-round pick. There is no fifth-year option. He's 17 games away from being a free agent. Obviously, there's the franchise tag. But what would keep me up at night if I'm Howie Roseman is getting a call from Jalen Hurts' agent to say, I'm not coming without a new deal.